Hey everybody, welcome for joining in. Appreciate you joining in today. As always, thank you for joining. Any questions, any comments you have, drop a comment below, and I definitely try to get to it in the next episode. As always, continue to share, continue to subscribe, and let people know about the channel. That way, we can have all different, type of thoughts and all different, comments and questions. That way, we all can, like I always say in the beginning of the episode, build together, build our portfolios together, and then eventually all become successful one day in this trading world. Because that's the ultimate goal of this channel, is just to spread knowledge for free. 'Cause I know a lot of people out here, they charge for knowledge, or you have to sign up for some type of package or some type of deal. So I wanted to have a place where people can come to get free knowledge. Of course, it isn't expert advice or any financial advisors or anything like that in the channel. But at the same time, you get another perspective. You get, other stocks that people talk about. So that's the main thing, the main reason why I started this channel is to get ideas out there. A lot of people that I'm connected to, put some of those ideas out there. And then, of course, the people across the globe, any ideas or any comments you have, like I always say, just drop a comment below. And that way we can, share and expand our knowledge within the stock market. So for this channel, for this episode, I should say, I want to focus on the infrastructure package again, and then one more thing I want to focus on, which is crypto. It's a crypto that I want to talk about. So that's why it took me, an extra day. It was supposed to come out yesterday on Sunday, but I wanted to wait for today just because I want to do a little bit more research on certain things that I was going to talk about. So with that being said, I wanted to start out with the crypto aspect of the episode. I watched an actual episode with Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, right? And within that episode, they were talking about, I think the episode came out in 2018, 2019. It's the famous one where he was smoking, I believe. Elon Musk was smoking in the episode. And, people made a lot of memes and things about that. So that episode that I'm talking about, he actually, was talking about, his thoughts on technology, the future, things of that nature, how technology is playing a role within, the human world, the human life, and how we're using that to get to the next stage. And what I mean by next stage is, what's the next evolution, right? So now we have humans here. What is the next evolution as far as, is we're going to go into another universe or whatever the case may be, right? Or another planet, going to Mars or whatever the case. People say go to Mars or go to all these other planets to see if we're able to live there, if it's, actually a place that, we can have water, resources that we need, and it will be sustainable for us. So, you have a lot of conspiracy theories and a lot of theories out there that, pretty much just talk about random places that we can go, right? What's the next stage? Within that episode with Joe Rogan, he was talking about, which, like I said, came out in 2018, right? So by me saying those dates, 2018, this was before where we're at now, right? 3 years later, we're at where we're at now, and we know more, and we know where we're heading towards better than we did in 2018. But it also speaks volume to, how far ahead he was thinking. And a lot of people are thinking, not just him, but a lot of people are thinking as far as next steps. And like I said, the next stage and where we go from here, right? So he was talking about, a metaverse, as you all know now, like Facebook, they changed their name, which pretty much made that ideal global because Facebook is a global market. Everybody knows Facebook. Just like, okay, a lot of people know Tesla, but more people know Facebook than they know Tesla, right? So once Facebook mentioned something about Meta, now it's more, global awareness around what is this metaverse, what are people talking about, virtual reality, things like that. A lot of people, as you know, already know about virtual reality. They have those, those goggles that you can wear, or you play video games in virtual reality or see, movies or wherever the case may be. But Facebook really put a brand and stamp on it to make it more globally aware, right? Bring more global awareness to this metaverse or this whole aspect of taking yourself and building an avatar, and everybody's now being involved. Because as you know, there's a lot of people on Facebook. It's not just, a younger crowd. There's middle-aged crowd, older crowd. Everybody is involved with Facebook versus some of these other social sites. Is not, they don't have the wide range of people that interact with their site or their social media app, the same wide range that Facebook has. So with that audience that Facebook has, like I said earlier, once they mention something, it's more global awareness to it. It's more people actually now learning about what, metaverse and virtual reality is, right? That people that didn't typically, don't really keep up with the ins and outs of things and new technology, now they actually are seeing this for the first time. So in that episode, like I was saying, he was talking about, transitioning. Some people might want to just stay, in their actual, regular form. So your body where you are now, you have this form, you have skin, a face, and everything like that. Some people may choose to stay in that, or some people may choose to, download their entire self, their entire mind into the actual metaverse and live throughout the metaverse, right? And like you say, he was going down a rabbit hole, pretty much in when it comes to pretty much everybody calls that a rabbit hole because nobody really understands the evolution of life. It's always a mystery. We don't all have the answers to where we came from or where we started. We all have our own beliefs, but we all don't have the exact answer to where that started from, right? Everybody has their own beliefs, but at the same time, everybody doesn't have the exact answer that they're looking for. So with that being said, with transitioning over, somebody might decide to transition over, live longer, case may be, or your body is dying off, your organs are failing, so you might want to download yourself into this metaverse and potentially be able to download yourself into another body, right, another form. I know it sounds crazy, like I said, it's a rabbit hole, but when you put thought into it and you put thought into what he's saying, and like I say, he's saying this back in 2018. Who knows? And things are coming out with Nike. Nike had a plan already with like a metaverse type of thing. They were already started a game plan and a blueprint of how that's going to work. I suppose that plan started in 2018. Coincidentally, this interview was in 2018, right? But keep in mind, people probably was already thinking about this years and years before. As technology got better, people always trying to figure out the next thing, how to change certain things through technology. And what he was saying was technology is pretty much taking over, right? Not like one of those movies you see where, there's robots and now robots are now killing people type of deal, but a more of there's going to be actually a robot or a system that now thinks on its own, right? As you all, I don't know if you've seen those videos of robots, doing backflips and running, talking. There was another thing, somebody, I think it was a quote, I believe that back in 1999, the guy was talking about, right now, if you look at a cell phone literally has everything. It's literally a computer in your hand, right? It has everything you need to know. But back in the day, as far as if you want to see, what date it was or what date Thanksgiving was falling on, you had to go look at a calendar. But now you can go look at your phone. If you wanted to actually see somebody in person, you have to drive to their house or meet them somewhere to see them face to face. Versus now you have your phone, you can FaceTime them, or you can do like a YouTube channel or something like that where you can now see people through your phone. So, in that quote that he was saying, one day everything is going to be within the phone. At one point, we're not in the phone, but one day as time progresses as it did, everything that we need our entire life is going to be centered around technology and the phone, right? And if you look at today, that's pretty much the case. If you think about your daily life, everything you do is revolving around technology and your phone, things of that nature. So that guy was already, light years ahead, thinking of, down the road what technology can do to the actual sense in the field of humanity. And by thinking that pretty much puts you in a mindset that's different than where you're at now, right? Because you're thinking ahead. Just like in the stock market, when you're looking into a stock, you want to think ahead. You want to see what this company is doing in the future. What do they have planned? What future plans do they have? And how would that, turn out? And how would that, make in the future that we live in? Things like that. So those are the things you look at and you consider when you look into a stock. Same thing when you're looking into technology or anything like that. Science, some people say the mad scientists that, create something or clone people, things like that. All those type of things you want to look ahead and people are thinking ahead. You always want to think ahead at whatever you're doing, right? So with that being said, with technology, as he was saying that just with phones, that's just one aspect. Elon Musk within this interview, he was talking about how technology is just taking over. And one day we're going to have a technology that's able to think of its own, process its own thoughts, make its own decisions. That it's not going to actually need that human interaction to make it go or make it jump or make it go right or left. It's going to be able to think and do all on its own. When you look at even a Tesla, right? Look at a Tesla vehicle, they now have autonomous vehicles. a vehicle that can actually drive on its own, right? That's crazy to think about when you think about 20, 30, 40 years ago, a vehicle that can actually drive itself, a vehicle that you can use your phone to get it to come to you. That is, pretty much a crazy thought if you would have said that 30, 40 years ago. But now with technology and everything changing, you gotta think technology works a lot faster. And it's something he said in the interview, technology is a lot faster and light years ahead of us, right? Technology can think of things and do things quicker than we can, any human can. There's no really error. So there's no human error involved in a computer. And like he was saying, just like the guy was saying about phones, when you look at it, a computer is a lot smarter than a person, right? A computer is able, when you think about your life and if you want to think about computers and what an answer that you want, and you don't know the answer, what do? You go to Google, you search it, or you go somewhere to figure out on the internet what this answer is. If you want to make something for a meal or for food, you go to Google, right? You look at the directions, you look at the ingredients. Same thing if you want to buy a car, if you want to buy a house. Technology is in every single industry, and you think about it, we're all dependent on technology. So with technology light years ahead of us and can move a lot and think a lot quicker than the human person can, right? Because we have error, we have, this whole process that we go through before we actually make a decision. Even if it's a split-second decision, you have a process in your mind that you're going through, right? So we have that process that's a lot slower than the actual computer system. And like he was saying, technology, once it takes over, it makes its own thoughts and process and things like that. We're going to have to learn how to, if you can't, like he said, the famous thing he said in there that stuck out to me, if you can't beat it, then join it, right? So if you can't actually beat the technology, which we won't be able to, then you need to join it. And like he was saying, like 2018, he's saying, hey, it's kind of too late to try to go back on that because we're already too dependent on technology. And that is true. Everything we do, including governments, celebrities, anybody that you want to think of, a regular person, everyday, working mom, dad, whatever the case may be, we all use technology and we're all dependent on technology in some way. We're all dependent on that. So when you think about that and you think about how important technology is to us, that is something that you want to focus on and you want to look at, okay, now we're relating it back to stocks. What stocks are driving through technology? What stocks are the next thing? So that's what brings me back to crypto when he was talking about that. And I'm starting to look at these virtual realities, things of that nature. Once this virtual reality takes over, because it will, right? Might not be today, might not be 5 years from now, but I would say 10, 20 years from now, you're going to see a lot more people involved with virtual reality, and virtual reality is going to be a lot more expanded than where it is now. So with that being the case, what is going to be big within virtual reality? And that's what brings me to a crypto called Decentraland. Decentraland is actually the ticker symbol for it is MANA. Again, that's MANA, Mana. Pretty much what it does is it's an actual currency that you use in this Decentraland, this virtual reality world. You can buy land with it. You can also buy goods and services within this virtual reality world with this money, with this crypto money. So when I start looking at that, I'm like, okay, we're starting to shift towards virtual reality. Let me start looking at something that we're going to need in this virtual reality world, which is money, right? Just like in today's world, you need money. So that was what brought me to Decentraland, aka Mana. And at the price, it was like $1.20, $1.30. That was my actual first entry point. And actually jumped about, I think like 2-3 weeks ago, it went from like $1.40, $1.50, all the way up to like $3-4. Right now it's hovering around $3, which is good, right? That's almost 200% increase from where I was originally in it. So with that being said, that's what brought me to that actual crypto. It made me start looking more into that actual crypto versus other cryptos that's out here that I don't really see playing that big of a role into the next big thing, right?